Hello everybody, welcome back to the Aeroteam channel, and today we're going to be starting a brand new series. We're going to be coming back with Server Showcase and Livery of the Week, but we're going to be combining them, and I'm going to be renaming this series into Build of the Week. And our first build of this week is this American Airlines Boeing 737-800 in this absolutely massive scale. It's in 9:1, and it was built by one of our server members, Froggy, right here. And if you'd like to introduce yourself real quick.
Hello, my name is Froggy, and I also go by Owen, and I build planes in Minecraft.
Yeah, this thing looks really good, and we're going to take a quick tour around it, and then we're going to go inside of it and check everything out, and that'll be it. Owen or Froggy will give some of his thoughts on the build that he's done, and yeah, this should be pretty interesting. So let's start off here at the front. Of course, it's a 737-800, so you've got the cockpit here, and you've got all of the details that go around it. You've got the front doors, and then the nose gear. Now, what I really noticed, Frog, is at this larger scale, you're able to do some really nice detailing with like the pitot tubes here. And I thought it was really creative how you did it all with the sideways slab walls right there. And then there's some other detailing around the side. Do you know exactly what this port is for, or was it just a detail you added? Because you do flight sim, so you know this stuff, don't you?
This port here exactly, I'm not sure what the purpose of it is.
That's fair. I have no idea. I can tell you what pitot tubes do, given that I have had lectures on how they work, so I should know. But this one is probably for just more data collecting for the aircraft. But anyway, we can come down to the nose gear and the nose well, and you did a lot of work on this thing. And isn't it really hard to find good reference photos of what the nose gear looks like?
I always spend probably 30 minutes just trying to get a really good photo.
Yeah, I mean, it's impossible. We have on the team ourselves, Potter is like the master of finding this stuff, and we'll randomly be building an aircraft. Like, we've been working on the 787 and the 747-8, and he'll randomly just post like that he's found a bunch of pictures and reference for it, and it'll be like the world is opening up for us. But this nose gear looks really well, or looks pretty well. But you've got the nose gear here, the lights at the front, and then the two wheels on either side. There's some more markings on the underneath, more ports, and various different devices. And then I've been noticing this a lot on aircraft, where they all have these red lines along the fuselage. Do you know what exactly they're for, or is this just a detail you added?
I'm gonna assume it's something to do with maybe the jetway to get it lined up, maybe, possibly.
Okay.
I'm not too positive.
That would make a lot of sense though, because a lot of aircraft do have these, and like the 7.3 has another one further down. I think it is for reference on for vehicles. Of course, you have the L1 and R1 doors right here with great work, and then you have this massive American billboard text, and it looks really good. Can you talk us through the process a little bit of how you made the text for the livery?
So when I'm making liveries, I mainly use doors and windows as reference. So I get the general scale that it needs to be, and like where and what window it starts and what window it ends, and I just work it out. I build it. I don't build it on the actual plane at first. I build like just the flat text, and then
and then you paste it onto the aircraft.
Yeah. So that makes it way easier, so you don't gotta deal with like all the windows and stuff.
That makes a lot of sense. And then you have the American Airlines logo here, and then with the little eagle, it's an eagle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this looks really good. Now we can continue on. Of course, you have your wing box, and you've got a bunch of lights on the side of the aircraft, your engine lights, your landing lights, and everything here. There is a RAM airport right here, and these will do various different things internally on the aircraft. And then you've got loads of different detailings on the underside of the fuselage, and then we'll work our way back there to the gear well in a minute. But first, let's take a look at this engine. And you told me earlier when we were in the call that you weren't too fond of this engine, but if I'm going to be honest with you, it looks pretty good. Can you explain a little bit on how you managed to do all of the internals for this engine and how you got everything done?
So when I'm making engines, if I simply just search up the engine on Google, it'll show a lot of pictures of like what the internals are supposed to look like. So I just try to vaguely recreate that in Minecraft.
Yeah. And obviously, I wouldn't blame you if you had to guess because there's
Yeah.
basically no dimensions or anything online for this sort of stuff. But what was your
Yeah.
process for sort of figuring out like the scale of everything?
Basically, everything on the inside, the scale-wise, it's just guessing, basically.
Okay. And then a lot of reference versus what you see on the outside. That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, well, you have the engine here. You have the engine pylon right here, and this looks very well done. And then you've got your wing with a bunch of the detailing on it. You have your slats and everything, and then on the back you have your ailerons and flaps, and then flap track fairings right here. And then you have your air brakes. There's a more technical term, and that's going by me right now, but they pop open.
Spoilers.
Yeah, thank you. Spoilers pop open on landing. And then right here, a lot of people don't know this about aircraft, but if you were to have an emergency landing, like say in the water, and you were to use these 2 emergency overwing exits, what they'll do is there is a rope on board and you can string that rope here, and there is a little hook, and that allows people to hold on when walking onto the wing during an emergency exit. Now we can continue over to the winglet. Of course, with the NG version of the 737, they introduced these newer, more efficient winglets. This 738 does not have the split scimitars or the scimitar addition to the winglet tip, but still, it's a good looking winglet, very efficient, and it does its job.
Yeah. None of the American Airlines 737s have the split scimitar.
Which is really interesting because American, who competes with Southwest, United, and Delta, Southwest, United, and Delta all have split scimitars on their 737s, or are starting to. Delta's in the process, I think. But anyway, we can come over. You have your flap track fairings on the underneath, and you've got some really, really nice layering for the whole wing. And then we can look at the engine, or sorry, the gears right here. The 737, of course, has exposed an exposed gear well, so you have this little flat that comes in, but the gears remain on the outside of the fuselage. And we can look at what the gear well looks like in here. It looks pretty good. Now, I assume it's the same process. I think the 737 main gear well is even harder to find reference for than the nose gear well.
Yeah, just because it's there's like not really a lot of space at all to get like photos, like good photos.
Now, is a lot of this just greebling guesswork, or were you able to actually reference stuff to put inside this gear well?
Most of it is just guesswork, just because the 737 gear bay is just there's just a lot of crap.
Yeah.
Oh, there's just a lot of crap everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's completely filled.
That makes sense. No, but this looks really good. I assume you would have all of your hydraulics and other components and wiring that's exposed in here. But we can continue on. You have a few antennae around the rear of the... We have been corrected about this. Everyone on the channel, for whatever reason, for the past few years, we've always been calling this a wing box. This is actually a wing fairing that wraps around. The wing box is a different structure on the inside, but we were just referring it to in the same way anyway. Back here
I
we
didn't
have,
know that.
yeah. Back here we have the registration for the aircraft. Did you pick a specific registration, or was this just for show?
This is November 895 November.
Awesome. Any reason for it, or that was just the one you found?
This is just the one that I found.
Nice. Now, we work our way back around. You've got the L2 and R2 doors on the back, and then this really nice tail with the American Airlines, and then the horizontal stabilizers right here, along with the APU, and it does look pretty good. The 737's APU is pretty interesting, and there's a little sign in here that I haven't seen. If you want to add Froggy on Discord, you can do so right here.
Oh, that name's outdated now since they
Oh yeah,
changed.
Discord did update everything. But anyway, this tail looks really good. You've got quite a bit of how do you describe it? Color gradients, which
Yeah.
must have been pretty difficult. Do you have a certain like style for doing the color gradients?
No, it's just I tried to follow the real gradient as much as possible. This took a really long time.
Yeah.
Mainly just the blue part that took forever.
Yeah, but it looks really good. So anyway, we'll continue around. You've got your rear cargo door, and then your front cargo door over here. And then we can head on into the interior, which you did an excellent job with. So let's head on in. And we're gonna start off in the cockpit over here. So you have your captain's seat, and then your first officer's seat, and then you've got a jump seat right here. And then you have your overhead panel, and then your front displays. And the 738 is an all glass cockpit, correct? Or is it
Yeah.
sort of a mix of both of that? Okay, yeah.
It's all glass.
So that looks really good, and Froggy did a really nice job using blocks behind the glass to really sort of illustrate the glass cockpit. You have your yokes, and then your pedals down there, and that's a pretty good interior for the cockpit. And then it's a good use of the resource pack, using the split blocks to sort of emphasize how thin the cover is over here. And then
You mind if I like go into like a slightly more detail for the
yeah,
cockpit?
go for it.
So here, like these little things on the armrest, these are this is the armrest. I have them sitting up. And on the 737 yoke, they have a little checklist here. That's what the white banner is for. And I also have like a stair right here and a yellow block behind it to be the master caution light right here. And yeah, that's about it. And there's just a lot of circuit breakers up here and the overhead panels right there.
Yeah, this looks really good. And the number of circuit breakers is hilarious on aircraft.
Yeah.
At least it's
yeah.
not back in the days when you used to have a flight test or a flight engineer with even more circuit breakers. But anyway, we can go through the door, and you've got your front galley right here. Now these galley carts are pretty impressive in the way you make them. I've not really seen people do detailed galley carts like ever. So you have your your multiple galley carts, and then coming back, you have some closets and a lav, and then you've got your business class seats. And is American technically a 2 or 3 class layout?
For their narrow body fleet, they just have the business class, and then about maybe 5 seats of extra legroom economy, and then just regular economy.
Okay, so it's like, so everyone will argue semantics, but it's between 2 and 3 because you got the premium economy seats. But anyway, you have your business class seats, and these look super comfortable, and you can even walk under them. That's how big this scale is. And then we can move on back. You've got a little divider here, and then you've got lots of premium economy sort of seats. And then coming back, you have your overwing exits over here. And then further back, you have the rear galley and some more lavatories, and it's similar to the front galley, and then your rear doors. And that's basically it. So, Frog, if you'd like to add anything else to this tour, I know you did a really great job on this build. Feel free.
For the economy, or for all the seats, I had the real number of seats that are in the aircraft. It's about like 160 exactly.
Really? So this is a perfect interior, basically.
Yeah, I tried to do that. It was a bit hard to fit in though.
Nice job. Well, if that's it, I'd like to thank everyone for watching. I'd like to thank Frog for building this amazing aircraft and showing it off on the channel. And with all that said, we'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.